In this video, we look behind the invisible wall of isolation, cutting through the generic advice to give you something that actually works. We will break down the top 3 actionable stages to dismantle social isolation and reclaim your place in the world. We will start with why your old friendships suddenly feel shallow and meaningless, move into how embracing your radical imperfections can splinter the social mask and set you free, and finally, arrive at our third stage, the most critical strategy that requires you to step into true, unfiltered vulnerability. If you only apply one thing from this video, it should be the last one. I know how heavy the weight of isolation is, because I experienced it for many years. I know what it's like to watch the world happen through a window, feeling like everyone else does perfectly fine in life. Or just so it seems. Stage 1. Beyond the surface. Look at the relationships you already have with friends, colleagues, and family members. Have you ever noticed that conversations with people you have known for years used to feel much deeper and more meaningful than they do now? Maybe you used to talk for hours about life, fears, dreams, and goals with them. Now, those same conversations feel dry, repetitive, and shallow. Reduced to standard small talk about work, the weather, or daily life. The psychological reason for this shift is what sociologists call the efficiency trap. As we grow older and reach our mid to late 20s, our lives become more static. We subconsciously treat our old friends as fixed characters from our past, rather than evolving human beings. We stop asking them new, probing questions because we assume we already know everything about them. At the same time, we keep our own changes in life superficial to maintain comfort. This creates a devastating form of isolation. You are physically surrounded by people who know your name, but psychologically, pretty much no one actually knows who you truly are. But how can you change this? In your next conversation with an old friend, bypass the usual small talk. Ask something unexpected. For example, what is something you are struggling with in your daily life? Or, what are you looking forward to this year? And what are your personal plans? Reigniting depth in existing bonds is the fastest way to signal to your brain that you are not alone. You will see that the others will be surprised by the shift you are bringing into their conversations. Stage 2. Cracks in the porcelain mask. But this is only the first step. Once you realize that connection requires depth, you will hit a massive internal barrier, the fear of not being good enough. This brings us to the second stage of breaking isolation, which is learning to accept your imperfections rather than trying to hide them. When we feel isolated, we fall into a dangerous psychological trap. We look at other people's curated lives and think something like this: once I look perfect, once I make more money, or once I fix my social anxiety, then I will be ready to make friends. This pursuit of perfection keeps you isolated. The 20th century existentialist philosophers like Sartre argued that trying to present a perfect, flawless image to the world is an act of bad faith. It is inherently inauthentic. Human beings do not connect with perfection. We are almost intimidated by it. We actually connect through our shared cracks and flaws. When you accept your imperfections, you stop viewing yourself as an unfinished project that needs to be perfect in order to be loved. Your social anxiety, your awkward pauses, and your unique quirks are not barriers to connection. They are the very things that make you relatable. You should stop trying to be perfect. Step into the world exactly as you are today, exactly as you are right now, because an imperfect, authentic presence will always attract real connection, which a perfect mask will never be able to do. The role of the social mask can determine your whole life. It is another piece of this complex puzzle. If you want to know more about it, you can check out my in-depth video about it. Stage 3. Dropping the armor. The courage to be seen. Authenticity brings us to the third stage, which is the most critical component of breaking the cycle of isolation. You can deepen your old conversations, and you can accept your flaws, but if you do not actively open yourself up and show vulnerability to others, the wall of isolation will never truly crumble. It seems like our modern culture treats vulnerability as a weakness. We wear emotional armor to protect ourselves from rejection, judgment, and betrayal. But the truth is that armor doesn't just keep out the bad, undesired things. It locks you inside a prison of your own making. Author and researcher Brené Brown proved that vulnerability is the absolute birthplace of love, belonging, and joy. You cannot have true connection without taking emotional risks. Opening up does not happen overnight. Start small and grow the number of experiences you want to share. Over time, you will build up the courage to be seen for what you truly are. It means admitting to someone that you were isolated and really appreciated to have someone talk to you. It means sharing a boundary, admitting a mistake, or expressing a genuine compliment without knowing if it will be returned. When you take off your armor and show your raw, vulnerable self to another person, it creates a powerful psychological echo. It signals to them that they are safe to drop their guard too. True belonging happens when two imperfect people look at each other's vulnerabilities. Here is my own experience. As soon as I started being open to other people about my own journeys in life, like the fact that I was trying to look a certain way for many years, and then just stopped trying it, people began to view me differently and respected me for my unfiltered authenticity. They looked at me in a completely new way, which would have never happened if I was still trying to have a perfect body. Social isolation feels like a heavy, dark room with no doors. But the door isn't locked. It's just heavy, and your muscles are tired. You don't have to reshape your entire social life. Philosophy can teach us patience, and psychology gives us the tools to put it into practice. I advise you to pick just one small thing from today. Change the topics in the next conversation. Accept one of your flaws without judgment. Or share one small, honest piece of your true self with someone else. Small steps, repeated daily, will dismantle the wall piece by piece. If this call to authenticity helped you today and brought you some insights, please consider subscribing the channel, as it helps to let the community grow. This was Nocturnal Clarity by Marcus, and thank you for listening.